Hi, this is Randal Wimmer, and this is the first section of my book, Good Enough to Launch Your Company. On the cover is the title, Good Enough to Launch Your Company, a step-by-step startup guide for real people using real examples, by me, Randal Wimmer. On the back cover, think you're not good enough to launch a company? Think again. Randal Wimmer offers a refreshing take on entrepreneurship, steering clear of tired motivational platitudes and business cliches. Instead, he uses real examples and actual business scenarios to present a structured, repeatable startup framework that provides actionable insights and tangible steps. Using the federal government contracting industry for real-world context, Wimmer immerses the reader in a GovCon startup case study culminating in a step-by-step guide that can be applied to launching any company in any industry. If you're ready to launch your company, this book is your roadmap to success. About the author. Randal Wimmer is a successful serial entrepreneur and GovCon industry insider. His companies have been awarded hundreds of millions of dollars in contracts, landing on the Inc. 500 fastest growing companies list and the Washington Technology Fast 50 list on multiple occasions. His family owned and operated nonprofit organization is the recipient of the President George H.W. Bush Points of Light Award, our nation's most prestigious honor for volunteerism. Presently, Wimmer is the founding director of the Government Contracting Academy, the leading training provider for small businesses in the GovCon industry. Wimmer's hardest entrepreneurial obstacle to overcome was believing that he was good enough. Dedication. For my wife Cindy and our sons Gabriel, Colin, Chandler, and Nathaniel. Tag. Guys, now it's your turn. There's a reason why I invested in your lemonade stand when you were children. Remember that small private Caribbean island that I'd love to retire to? But nothing too ostentatious. You are the reasons for any modest success that I've experienced in my life. I love you. For my entrepreneurial family, Alex Wall, Andrew Vance, Ed Muldoon, and David Rattay, I now realize that it wasn't my brilliant leadership. You were just curious to see what stupid mistake I'd make next. Thank you for correcting most of them. Seriously, I appreciate our time working together more than you'll ever know. This book is broken down into 9 chapters. Preface. Books are written for a lot of reasons. Some to advance a cause or an area of study, others to tell a story that is bursting from an author's soul, and, without question, some are written to cash in by filling a void in the consumer market. Only a book's author knows for certain what compelled him or her to put pen to paper. I am no different, but it's easier for me to explain why I did not write this book. I did not write this book for money. I'm doing okay financially. Plus, I know that writing a book has about the same return on investment as combing the beach with a metal detector. Unlike many business book authors, I didn't write it to pay homage to myself. I've been around the block enough times to know that there is only a very small handful of people whose opinion of me matters. Having said this, the nature of this book may frequently shed positive light on some good fortune that I have enjoyed. However, I tried to share at least 2 stupid mistakes for every good decision that I made. That's not hard for me to do. In truth, this book is a story about how I traversed the startup minefield by stepping on a lot of mines. If I do come across as vain or arrogant, then that's on me, not my parents. I wasn't raised that way. I did not write this book to get my version of some scandalous story out. In fact, I wish to apologize in advance if the prism of my memory has distorted some of the facts. This is inevitable because on most days, I can barely remember what I had for breakfast. However, it is completely unintentional. I am 100% accurate in sharing what I took away from an event, but if details have faded, I'm sure that my mind has filled in the missing pieces. This is not a tell-all or gotcha book. I go out of my way to not identify those of whom I do not have a positive opinion. Their identity is unnecessary to the utility of this book. Similarly, I do not specifically highlight my loving family, brilliant friends, and colleagues who were critical to my modest success. Without their help, I would have failed. These people know who they are, and I hope to thank them in a more personal way. So, why did I write this book? Don't get me wrong, I didn't wake up in the middle of the night with alien crop circles in my backyard and a zombie-like commitment to hammer away at my laptop. I do have my reasons. Since 2003, nearly every thought regarding my professional life has been associated with starting and running my own company. Now, 2 decades later, I choose to close that chapter of my life and move forward. I'm almost certain that I must burn this ship on the beach so I may pursue the future rather than sail back to the past. In many ways, this book is a eulogy for something that I treasured for many years and then let go. This book is my shoebox filled with memories of a lost loved one that I take out to remember. I also wrote this book for my children to capture a certain chapter of my life so they will know what I did for much of their early childhood while I was working late at the office and, most importantly, for whom I was working late. As my sons become adults and I fade into the later seasons of life, I hope this book will remind them that their old man once had a spark so intense that it could burn his goals into reality for the people he loved. Finally, I tried to write a book that I would have benefited from reading. I desperately needed a book written by a real person using real examples. I could have used a book to help me overcome the demons of self-doubt faced by aspiring entrepreneurs, while pointing out an occasional landmine to avoid in the startup process. If I could have benefited from this book, then hopefully you may as well. I wrote this book to show my sons and other readers that they're good enough to walk up to the plate and swing for greatness.